we are just a data company, and all we do is data. And our goal is to be the source of truth for physical places. A big part of being a source of truth is access and democratizing that data. And again, one of the reasons we're super excited to be involved with the Data Exchange. You'll hear Hendy talk more about some of the other AWS tools that are close at hand if you're using the Data Exchange to be able to bring that data to life.
So to get started with the dataset itself, I've created a very simple solution that you can use to get started. So all you need to do is to sign up yourself for an AWS account, and then Jonathan will also talk about how you can subscribe into some of Safegraph offering in free dataset that you can use. And we do have a blog spot in Safegraph, blog post in safegraph.com that gives you that step-by-step instruction on how to build this solution, right? So the first thing that you want to do is, after you get a subscription in one of Safegraph dataset inside AWS Data Exchange, you will copy over those data into your own storage. In this case, I'm using Amazon S3. And from that point, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You will use Amazon Athena to do SQL Query into your dataset, and you will use Amazon QuickSight for visualization. And that is all. You don't need any complex infrastructure. You don't need any servers to provision or anything. So it's quite straightforward. You have you have yourself an interface to do SQL query if you're familiar with that. If not, you have that ability to do visualization, interacting with the dashboard, filtering, drop and down, and etc. And we go over some of those result in the next slides. So the first one will be, how do you interact with using SQL query into the dataset itself? So in this example, I run a query against the dataset to locate other restaurant and other eating places within 10 kilometers from a particular Tim Hortons. And Jonathan did talk about place key and how place key can be very useful here. Instead of specifying Tim Hortons located at this street address, at this city, at this region, I can just use the place key ID. And the place key ID will represent the entire place in a very simple manner. So, the query itself has been made possible because with the recent release of our new query engine back in November 2020, you can now calculate those geospatial distance between one location to the other location using a built-in function in the SQL itself. So it doesn't require you to do some complex calculation on your own. You just have to call a single function, and that single function will calculate the distance, the geographical distance between one place to another. And in the other example here, you can even find some insight, like how many Starbucks are located in Canada that has at least one or more Tim Hortons within 1 kilometer. And you're using the same geospatial function. There's no complex query here. If you visit the blog post in safegraph.com, you can see the actual query making this possible. So it is very simple. You don't have to deal with complex query for extract this kind of insight straight away. Now, the next things that you want to do is probably working on a visualization, right? Looking into how this place actually map in the geographical area, using map, using filtering, if you want to filter based on the top category, if you want to filter based on something else. And for this, you can easily leverage Amazon QuickSight. Amazon QuickSight has a built-in visual type that we call points of map. So you can use this visual type, and Amazon QuickSight also recognize the geospatial fields that you can use. So you just have to drag and drop, and there you have it. You have the filtering, you have the drill down ability.
Talking about the data that we have in the Data Exchange, you see a quick screenshot here and a really simple URL to be able to access all of the Safegraph listings in the Data Exchange today. We have a variety of data sets in there. We've got some free sample data sets. So one example data set we have is all of the foot traffic for every Starbucks in the US. It costs nothing. You have all of the Starbucks, I think it's something like 11,000 Starbucks locations. And it's really as simple as just clicking a couple of buttons, just like you heard Hendy talk about, you're able to quickly pull that into an S3 bucket or anywhere else that you want to put it. And then you've got access to it as if it were in your own internal data. Very, very simple. We also have a variety of for pay data sets in the data exchange as well, at different or flexible subscription terms at different prices. So you can access it for 1 month, you can subscribe for an entire year, et cetera, et cetera. But the exciting one that we wanted to talk about today, if we jump to the next slide, is our Canada POI data set. And you heard Hendy mention that he's accessed this free data set. This is something new that we're super excited to announce. So we've had our Canada POI data set live for a little while, but we created a version of it where we're calling it essential columns. We've stripped out a number of the extraneous or extra columns and cut it down to its bare bones and made the entire thing completely free. So this is over 600,000 POI across all of Canada. We've been looking at examples of coffee shops and donut shops, but it has everything. All of the things that we were alluding to earlier, schools and hospitals and airports and gas stations, et cetera, et cetera. So this is super exciting. We don't know of many other companies that are making an entire commercial and commercially friendly data set like this available at no cost. You can access it right now. You see that URL and you see that the orange button in the middle of the screenshot. It really is as simple as just clicking a couple of buttons, and now you've got the access to it. Like Hendy said, all you need is an AWS account and then the ability to click a couple of orange buttons, and now you've got that entire data set. So please go ahead and access that data, even just to play around and take a look at it. But we're super excited to make this available to everybody.